Good morning. It's Barbara. It is very, very late. The clock on this is 3 hours early, so it's 11:30. Dennis and I have been sitting and talking and reading our phones and for 2 hours, and now it's time to get up and get started. Now this gizmo says it's raining, but it's not, and it's actually a little sunny. So I'm going to go outside as soon as my coffee's ready. I took one picture for Instagram of all our strawberries. We got 2 flats of strawberries yesterday. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with these boxes. I have to send my sisters ceramic bowls. And I feel like these might be useful for cushioning. We'll see. Added something to my list. My list is getting long. I need to do a couple things on it and then transfer it to another page. But look how many things I crossed off. Of course, one of them was more gin. Good morning. It's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Me and Pearl. Pearl's out here with me. I combed my hair with water to make it not look like a mohawk, but then I forgot to comb it again when it was dry, so sorry about that. It's not my first coffee because Dennis brought me a coffee in bed and we sat and talked and read our phones and such for 2 hours. We used to, when we were both working, it was our ritual in the mornings to have one of us would go down and get tea, and we would sit and drink our tea and talk. And I don't even know if we were reading our phones. I don't think, I don't think we were really reading our phones. We were just sitting there talking, drinking tea. So it was a little bit of a different ritual because I'm talking about, I've been retired for 8 years, 8.5. So I'm talking about 10 years ago. What were we doing on our phones 10 years ago? Not nearly as much as we do now, for sure. But anyway, we used to do that on Saturdays and Sundays and start our weekend with relaxing tea. Dennis still does that. I bring him his tea almost every morning, except mornings like today when he was up and said, "Would you like a coffee?" And so he made me an Americano. And we sat and we talked and read our phones together for 2 hours. Yeah. Apparently we like a really slow entry into our day, shall I say. So, yesterday, I did what I said I wanted to do, which was Dennis and I went to Highland Orchards, which is our local you pick your own place, which we don't pick. But they have apple orchards and they have strawberry fields and it's strawberry season here. So we went and I insisted we needed 2 flats of strawberries, which is 16 quarts of strawberries. And on the way home, we stopped at the state store and I bought gin, lots and lots of gin. Oh, and I got 3 big sticks of rhubarb, which I think it's not enough. I'm going to the store today. I'm going to get more rhubarb. But anyway, I processed, with Dennis's help, 16 quarts of strawberries yesterday. Meaning I washed them and hulled them. And for some of them, I drowned them in gin. So I have a shelf in my basement now with gin infusing with strawberries and a couple of small jars with rhubarb. One is just rhubarb and the other is rhubarb strawberry, which I wasn't going to do, but I didn't have enough rhubarb and I had plenty of strawberries. But I think I'm going to get more rhubarb. The pieces I got were really big. and fibery, and you know, which I'm a fiber person, but not with the rhubarb. But I only care about the taste. I don't care about the texture. So the fact that they were fibery is neither here nor there, but who knows if they had a lot of rhubarb flavor. So anyway, I'm going to get more rhubarb and boost my rhubarb infused gin inventory later today, I think. But I have 2 gallons of strawberry infused gin. Although that jar seemed awfully big for a gallon. I'll have to ask Dennis how big it was. Well, I used 4 bottles of my gin. I used the cheap gin. I did a experiment last year, which was my first year of infusing. Hey, pup. Which was my first year of infusing gin, and I did 1 jar infused with using really good gin, and 1 jar infused using my cheap gin that I like in my mixed cocktails. And I mean, if there was a difference, it was very slight, and it certainly wasn't worth it. So I got my cheap gin, which happened to be on sale, and I used 4 bottles of it, and it's 1.75 liters per bottle. That's how much infused gin I have in my basement right now. That's a lot. That's a lot. So give it a few weeks. Turned slightly pink. It made me nervous, so I took some of it out and put in more strawberries in case I didn't put enough strawberries, because I was expecting it to turn pinker right away, which is silly. And I'm just infusing it. I'm not trying to turn it into like strawberry liquor or something. So, and you know, all I'm trying to do is get a little flavor in my gin. So I decided to let it go, and it'll be fine. But that took me all day because, you know, I held 2 quarts, and then I sat down and rested. And then I got up, you know, it was hurting my back and whatever. Anyway, Dennis helped me too. He did 4 or 5 quarts. 5, at least 5. And so we have 7 quarts of strawberries in our refrigerator all ready to go. He's going to freeze some of them just the way they are. He has a vacuum sealer. He's going to slightly vacuum seal them and freeze them. So we'll have fresh frozen strawberries. And then he's going to make preserves. He puts them in little tiny jars so we don't eat too much. He makes it with Splenda. And we will have some in the fridge since it's strawberry season. You want to have them while they're wonderful. On our way home, we took a side trip to Aura's and took her a quart of strawberries, and I cleaned them and hold them over there so that they were all ready for her to go. So she didn't have to do anything to them. She could just get them out of the fridge, and they'll be ready to eat. And you know, we don't want to do anything that makes it so she thinks twice about, yeah, I want strawberries, but they're not clean, and I don't want to deal with it. So I took care of that. So she's all set with strawberries. She had a few before we left. So yeah. So that was yesterday. Took the whole day. I did a little bit of reading and, you know, walked the dogs and such, but that was my day. And it was nice, and they smell so delicious, and they are good. I did have some for dessert, obviously. So today Dennis is going to be cooking the strawberries that he's going to turn into preserves. And he's got a couple other things that he has planned for the kitchen. So I will be going to the grocery store today, probably by myself, so that he doesn't have too much going on. He's going to be very excited. I'm sitting here looking at the dead lime. Can you see these green things? He's going to be very excited. I mean, this is... But look. It's not obvious in the camera, but there are green things sticking out of this. He's going to be so excited when I tell him. This is his poor dead lime. The one that he's got hopes for is back there. Anyway, so I'll be going to the store. One of the things on my list is red peppers, and so if I can find a bunch of red peppers, we're gonna be roasting red peppers today too, because that sauce. Oh, Dennis didn't link me that recipe until late last night. I will put it below for our burgers, our Serbian burgers with the amazing roasted red pepper sauce. Ilyana, I think it's called something like that. Irana, I don't know. It is so good. It's going to be our new ketchup, but it's more work than buying ketchup. So we could be roasting red peppers today too, just to keep that up, because that's really delicious. We just use red peppers on it, but apparently the recipe includes eggplant, which we didn't have, and he didn't put in this recipe, but anyway. So that's my plan. I'm going to go to the store, and then whatever needs to be done after that, depending on what I find when I'm at the store, I will do. I added switch my clothes to my list because I need to do that, because all my winter sweaters are still out and all my summer clothes are still in the other room. So it is clear it is time to switch my clothes, and I want to go through my sweaters and figure out which ones need to be washed before I put them away. So I will do that. I won't wash them. I'm not making any promises, but I will segregate the ones that need to be washed. So there you go. That's my plan, and I wrote it on my list so I can cross it off when I do it, because it is something that I really need to do soon. And I have a couple other things on my list that I need to do that, you know, that are just a procrastinator's nightmare, but you know, it's the kind of thing where you put it off, and then when you do it, it only takes you half an hour. And why didn't you just do it before and not fuss about it in your head for weeks? So I'm going to do some of those things, I hope. I slept well last night, which was really good. I had been feeling sticky or whatever. Our fan wasn't going fast enough, I think, was my problem, because I try to keep the vents, air conditioning vents, clear. The dog beds are near the vents, and you know, so I feel like the room doesn't quite as cool as I would like to start with. And then we have 4 people in there, well, 2 people and 2 100-pound dogs in there heating up the room all night, and I needed the fan on higher, and that was Dennis's suggestion, and it worked. So I slept much better last night. Anyway, okay. I'm rambling enough. With my new pause feature on my camera, and I am very happy with my new phone, when I'm done, I only have one file, and I can sit here and know exactly how long I've spoken, as opposed to before when I would break it up and then I couldn't remember how long I had. So that's nice. Anyway, I hope you are well. I'm sorry to be so late. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, 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 please stay safe and stay safe.